Lili is known for having weak tracking and slow moves ever since Tekken 5 DR. This guide will show you how to discourage opponents from stepping and how to track them down in Tekken 7. Before we start, I assume that if you are watching this video, you already know the concepts of frame data and tracking in Tekken, and that you know a thing or two about Lili. If you don't, please check out a guide on frame data and a few Lili guides. I will link my own Lili guides in the description box down below. The next point is really important for Lili. The bigger the frame disadvantage for you, the harder it is for you to step anything. At neutral or -1, you can sidestep almost anything. At -9, it's very difficult to sidestep even linear moves. This means that moves that are only slightly negative on block, like her down forward 1, do not kill your momentum entirely. Here are a few general concepts regarding Lili's tracking and pressure that will help you. While many other characters intimidate with fast tracking moves and good counter hit moves, Lili scares opponents with evasion instead. In situations where other characters would go for frame traps, Lili also has the option of doing something evasive instead to keep up the pressure. Here is an example of what I mean. Lili's quarter circle forward 3+4 is +6 on block, but she doesn't have any safe damaging counter hit options to frame trap with afterwards. Many opponents know this, and they will try to jab after quarter circle forward 3+4. I counter this with a sidestep 1+2. If my opponent chooses to jab, sidestep 1+2 will evade it and wall spot them. If they choose to not press anything, sidestep 1+2 is only -2 on block, which means I still have the option to keep pressuring or sidestep their retaliation or crush it. I would most certainly lose momentum if I did something unsafe or something that is like -9 instead. The next strat is something I'm sure you've heard of from Mishima players: realigning yourself. They wave dash in the opponent's face so that their linear moves wouldn't get stepped. By dashing in your opponent's face with Lili, you can also make her linear moves track. Try it with a down forward 3, for example, or with her down forward 1. Suddenly, her main pressure tools gained some tracking. Mix this up with sidestepping, or simply not dashing in the opponent's face to keep them guessing. You can also use homing moves. Quarter circle forward 3+4 and forward 3 are the best homing moves she has. Other ones are down back 4. This one is super risky and generally not used for tracking purposes. Then she has down back 3. It's high, slow, and has really short range, but it is a counter hit launcher and it evades highs. It's hard to find a situation in which I would use down back 3 over quarter circle forward 3+4, except for maybe crushing electrics. Back turn down 3+4, although it's risky, it is important for Lili's back turn mix-ups. And then she has quarter circle forward 2-1. This one is quite neat because it crushes small highs like jabs, and since it's a 2-hit string, you might catch people pressing buttons after the first hit. Since opponents might try to interrupt Lili with jabs, you can use this as a homing move after stuff like quarter circle forward 3+4 to crush jabs and track them at the same time. Lastly, her rage drive is a homing mid launcher that is plus on block. It's a great panic move, unless your opponent starts jabbing to interrupt it. Now, you don't always have to use the previously mentioned techniques and homing moves. Lili has a bunch of other tracking moves too. Let's start with the ones that track to both sides. Forward 4 and down 3 are the ones that you should be using often. Forward 4 at max range has some tracking. It's especially great after 1-2 jabs and while standing 1-2 on hit, because these are +8 on hit. Forward 4 is 17 frames fast, so then it creates an unsteppable frame trap. The opponent is forced to parry or rage art, or do something extraordinarily fast like Yoshi's Flash or Xiaoyu's back 1, which are moves faster than jabs. Down 3 tracks really well to Lili's left, and sometimes to her right too. To her right mostly only after frame advantage though. Here is the really YOLO risky setup with Lili's launch punishable power crash. It doesn't have many uses as a panic move because it's so slow, but you can make a track if you delay the dash and the 2. You can use it as a power crash when you have only slight frame advantage and you don't have many good options for interrupting the opponent's retaliation and stepping. For example, after a down 3, which is +1 on hit, you will cover Lili in case the opponent sidewalks or tries to interrupt you. 1-2-3 and 2-3. The low tracks to both sides. Sometimes your jabs might whiff, and then you can continue in the string to catch people trying to step or interrupt you. In 2-4, the second hit tracks to both sides, but it's better to Lili's left. Down 4 has slight tracking to her left and sometimes to her right. It's great after a jab on block, back 1 cancel on block, forward 3 cancel on block, a down 3 on hit, and down forward 3 on block because it tracks both ways, and Lili doesn't have many fast tracking options at such small frame advantage. It also serves as a frame trap after down forward 3 because down 4 is 12 frames fast and down forward 3 is +3 on block. And it crushes high, so you may not be interrupted with jabs after moves like your own jab, back 1, down 3 and forward 3. Sidestep 1+2 tracks to the opposite way that you're sidestepping to, but has slightly better tracking to her left. 1+2 tracks slightly to her right and is 12 frames fast. It's mostly used as a panic move to stop pressure or as a frame trap after down forward 3 and forward 4, with the bonus of tracking people that might step to Lili's weak side, her right side. There are 2 launchers that Lili players use after frame advantage to catch people who step. Down forward 2 and up forward 3, because the thing is, even when Lili is at +8 frames on hit after something like 1-2, some of Lili's useful moves are so slow or linear that people will sidewalk her anyway. If you have a read on your opponent and you feel like taking a risk, you can go for these launchers after frame advantage. You will cover 2 options this way: sidesteps to their respective tracking sides, and they serve as frame traps in many cases too. Down forward 2. This one has slight tracking to Lili's weak side. As a tracking move, it works best after 1-2 and while standing 1-2, which are +8 on hit, and also after quarter forward 3+4. Up forward 3 tracks to the opposite side, to her left, and does a much better job as a tracking move then down forward 2. The hop kick will track sidewalk right even when you are at a +1 frame advantage, so you can do a jab into hop kick. Other popular hop kick setups are a down forward 3, both on block and hit, into hop kick, forward 4 into hop kick, a blocked quarter circle forward 3+4 into hop kick, down forward 1 on hit into hop kick, and down 3 into hop kick. All of these are plus on hit and are Lili's main pressure tools. The hop kick can track to Lili's weak side. That also depends on frames and even her distance from the opponent. The closer you are to the opponent, the more likely it will track to her left after frame advantage. For example, after a down forward 1 on hit, if you are close to the opponent, hop kick will track down sidewalks to both sides. If you hit down forward 1 at tip range, the opponent can sidewalk left. Standing 3 tracks very well to her left, but the follow-ups whiff sometimes. Forward 2-3 tracks really well to Lili's right. The 3 whiffs very often. Forward 2 is great for throwing out occasionally, even though it isn't plus on hit and is -9 on block. It's 12 frames fast and Lili lacks speed and tracking, that's why it's a pretty decent poke. I've seen Lili players use it a lot at the wall when the opponent has a wall on their right side and the Lili player expects them to try to get away from the wall with a sidewalk left and thus catching them with forward 2, while simultaneously covering her in case the opponent decides to retaliate instead of stepping. So you keep them in check with forward 2. A very important tracking poke for Lili is down forward 4. A very important tracking poke for Lili is down forward 4. It's 15 frames fast, and that's quite fast, especially for Lili. It is also safe on block. The follow-up, down forward 4-4, is not natural on normal hit. They can block the low even if you hit them with the knee. The second hit is also really delayable. If you counter hit with the knee, the low is guaranteed. You can confirm the counter hit because the screen starts shaking. It takes some practice to get this down, but it's really easy anyway. This poke is a great follow-up after a quarter circle forward 3+4 and forward 4, or down forward 1. In these cases, the knee can't be sidewalked at all. After down forward 1 and quarter circle forward 3+4, it's a legit frame trap too. So they are pretty much forced to block unless they have a parry or a rage art. When the opponent cannot step nor interrupt a follow-up, this is called a jailing string. After forward 4, the knee will catch almost every retaliation, except stuff like jabs, so this is still very advantageous for Lili. What I like to do with the low outside of counter hits is that I harass my opponents with down forward 4 and occasionally finish the string when I teach them not to expect the low. The knee jails after 1-2 and while standing 1-2 on hit as well, but I personally prefer using forward 4 as a jailing move when Lili is at a +8 frame advantage. Forward 4 has slight tracking to her left. You'll see it track after frame advantage moves like down forward 1 on hit. Quarter circle forward 1 somewhat tracks to Lili's right. She also has down 1-1 strings. This tracks quite well to her right and is 15 frames fast, just like down forward 4. But this one isn't that good. The first hit is unsafe, and the second one can be ducked. On the other hand, all hits in these strings can be delayed, so you can be a little tricky with it. The first hit is also unsteppable after a forward 4. Back 1 is another mid that has slight tracking to her left. I explained the whole situation with back 1 in another video, which I will also link down below, but in short, after back 1, she has access to 2 homing moves, quarter circle forward 3+4 and quarter circle forward 2-1. While standing 3 and quarter circle forward 1 also track slightly. The extension, back 1-4, tracks to Lili's right. A back turn up forward 4 hop kick can also be useful as a tracking move. It tracks sidesteps to her left. It might be useful against opponents that like to sidestep that way while crushing duck jabs too. I like to use it that way after my forward 4. As a bonus, it will launch opponents that duck for her back turn lows. Now, some tracking moves from back turn stance and how to use them. Back turn down 3+4 is a slow but homing low sweep. It also crushes quite a lot. That's why it's so strong after a forward 4. It will hit sidewalk, and opponents that like to jab and pressure with mids with bad hitboxes will be crushed. Back turn down 3 works in a similar way, but it tracks only to Lili's left. It still crushes, however, and if you feel like your opponent may launch you on block, you can make them second guess with the follow-up down 3-4. Sometimes I like to use the whole down 3-4 string after forward 4 when I feel like the opponent is gonna press buttons, because both hits are natural on counter hit. Back turn down 4 is another great low poke. It's very similar to her neutral down 4 in terms of speed, tracking, and crushing. Unlike the neutral down 4, however, which is minus on hit, this one is +3 on hit and even deals more damage. Some opponents like to press buttons because they think it's minus and you can catch them with a while standing 4. I like to use it a lot after a forward 4 into back turn stance. Back turn 2 is another important tracking move. It tracks to her right and is a 15 frames fast, safe mid counter hit launcher. This means that after a forward 4, which is +4 on hit, you have a really good chance on getting a counter hit too. All these crushing moves combined with other back turn moves, such as back turn 1+2, can be great mix-ups. Your opponent may try to interrupt your slow moves with jabs or sidewalk you, but then risk getting their jabs crushed or interrupted and their sidewalks tracked down. Patient opponents most likely won't fall for these, however, so be careful. Lili also has a few while standing moves that track. While standing 2 tracks so well to her right and crushes stuff like jabs too. It's a great move. While standing 1-2 also tracks to the right, but not as much as while standing 2, and obviously the second hit can be ducked. While standing 3 tracks a little to both sides, but it's much better to Lili's left. And that's it for now. Tell me in the comments down below if you found this video helpful. Subscribe to my channel for more tech and content. or visit my social media, or come and hang out with us during my Twitch streams. Everything is linked down below. So that's it, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!